What's that move? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday, May 21st, 2024 Board of Education meeting. We have all trustees present. We have all student representatives present. We always begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd like to stand and join me, please do. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we begin with recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. This evening, we start with our first item of recognition is our Outstanding Support Staff Award. The strength of the school district lies in its staff, and nowhere is there a more amazing group of individuals serving students than here in Troy. We begin tonight with our Outstanding Support Staff Person of the Year. For those who may not know, this category of employees includes a diverse group, including bus drivers, secretaries, paraprofessionals, student support aides, custodial staff, food service, technology, child care, security, and more. These individuals ensure that our students and staff have what they need to learn and grow. This year, we received 19 nominations for Outstanding Support Person of the Year, but one person rose to the top. Our 2024 Outstanding Support Person of the Year is Danielle Clippert. Congratulations. Danielle is the career facilitator at Troy College and Career High School. Danielle was nominated by one of her students. Some of the comments in her nomination include, Danielle does the workload of multiple people. She never complains, never asks for recognition, and only wants to know what more she can do to help. This year, she helped create the first careers course. She sets up mock job interviews for students in her class. Mrs. Clippert cares so much about students that she gives them a reason to start caring for their own futures. Please join us in congratulating Danielle Clippert on his well-deserved recognition. Her name was engraved on the support person plaque that will be displayed at her building for the next year. Danielle was also surprised with a check for $250 from the Troy Foundation for Educational Excellence. Before we have Danielle come up, we would like to show a short video of our visit to surprise her. Thomas.
We saw a wonderful celebration of Danielle Clippert, our support person of the year for the Troy School District. She goes above and beyond for us.
It's a long time coming. I'm so happy that she's finally getting this honor. I feel like we got her. We surprised her pretty good. She looked a little blindsided.
I was really happy because it's good to see someone who deserves it get recognition like this, because a lot of people overlook, they don't really, when you think of the staff members, you think of the core teachers, but a lot of people don't know that she's a really important part as well.
I know I'm a better teacher because I get to work with her, helping these kids take that next step in their life, and that's just so exciting, and it's all because of her.
She not only just does her job, but she does things that she doesn't have to do. Not only will she talk to you about your career and the steps you can take to enroll in college and stuff, but she actually cares about your personal life, and she'll talk to you about what's bothering you and if you're stressed about anything. She goes above and beyond for you.
Danielle goes above and beyond. She's the first person in the building, one of the last persons out of the building every single day, figuring out ways to prepare our students for the future and making sure that they have some sort of career path.
She really goes above and beyond. I don't even feel like that's a strong enough phrase to put because it's just used so often, but she's definitively above and beyond for her job.
I think the phrase above and beyond does not even get close to what she does for our students. She has a myriad of tasks, connecting students with jobs, high school jobs, with careers after high school, with college applications, scholarships, financial aid, all the rest. She does it with a plum, with an expertise I haven't seen before, and with an energy that makes the kids excited and feeling hopeful about their ability to do these things that are pretty scary, thinking about taking that next step out of high school. And with Ms. Clippert's guidance, they have the confidence, the enthusiasm, and support to do so.
Congratulations, Ms. Clippert.
Congratulations, Danielle. thank you for helping me do my job.
Congratulations, Danielle. No one deserves it more than you. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so excited for what comes next, because I know you got some great ideas.
Danielle, we congratulate you here, but most importantly, I am so lucky to have you here as part of our team here at Troy College and Career High School.
Danielle has touched the hearts and lives of many students in the Troy School District. Thank you and congratulations, Danielle, and if you would please, come on forward.
Wow. The room's a little overwhelming, that, watching that.
They're
again
all
is a
here
little
for you.
overwhelming. My journey with the Troy School District began nearly 2 decades ago. It started as a desire to contribute as a parent volunteer. It has since blossomed into a fulfilling career path where I've embraced roles as noon aide, substitute secretary, all of which led me to find my calling as a career facilitator. I feel very fortunate to have found the job that I truly love. Each day at work, I have a chance to make the difference in the lives of the students at Troy College and Career High School. I also love that I get to interact with students in elementary and middle school as well. To top it off, I work alongside some of the most amazing people I've ever met. Thank you to my coworkers and my family members who are here to support me, not just tonight, but every day. To the school board members, I want you to know that we really appreciate your continued support and understanding for the specific needs of our students. Several of you have been able to participate in the interviewing that we did for the 12th graders this last fall. And some of you participate with our students and come in and volunteer on a regular basis, so we know how much you care about our students. I'm deeply honored to be named the Troy School District Support Staff of the Year. Thank you to everyone who was part of the nomination and the award process.
Thank you.
Danielle, before you tried to get away way too fast. Before you leave, we have another surprise for you. You can certainly take your plaque there. Danielle, before you go back to your seat, I'd like to welcome you back to the podium, and it is my pleasure to ask Andrea Berry to come forward and present Danielle with the Outstanding Support Person of the Year for Oakland County.
Having me here tonight. It's my honor to let you know you're also the Oakland County Support Person of the Year. Winners of this award are recognized for going above and beyond a supportive learning environment in their schools and districts, and clearly you exemplify that. We've heard a lot of amazing comments about you and the work that you do. I typically share some of the comments in the application that we receive, and there is one from a student of yours that I do want to share tonight. Ms. Clippard not only helps students get inspired to want to be successful, but you can tell she cares for your future. When students push back and try to avoid her help in setting up a plan, she could easily let them, but she makes a huge effort to find students and make sure they know their full potential. Seeing how much Ms. Clippard cares gives students a reason to start caring about their futures. I often ask myself how she remembers every passion and every goal of all of her students, but she undeniably knows all the students she helps and forms a connection with them. She uses this connection to guide them in a direction that she knows they will like. How is someone supposed to help you find your path in life if they don't know you? Ms. Clifford forms a relationship with every student she helps, which makes asking her for help a lot easier. Ms. Clifford puts 110% into everything she does and is an extremely valuable source for TCCHS. So on behalf of the Oakland Schools Education Foundation, I have another plaque for you.
Do we have our inevitable bags for all the retirees? Is that,
All the ones that are here.
oh, no, okay, yeah. I think their names are on it. Oh, okay. Are they specific? They're all the same. Oh, okay, names on the back. Okay.
Andrea, thank you for being here as well. Thank you. Okay, next on recognition, it is our pleasure to kick off, as I said a little earlier in our reception, this kicks off graduation season, so we're really excited to kick off graduating our first group of graduates, the class of 24, our retirees. And with that, I'm going to ask Mr. Pagel to the podium.
Good evening, Dr. Macheski, Mr. Schmidt, members of the board. What a great night, and yet what a bittersweet night as we recognize our Troy School District retirees. I will say this in opening, some of us are very jealous of you. All of us are extremely proud to call you our colleagues and our friends as we launch you into your endless summer here as retirees from the Troy School District. So what we're going to do is we're going to read each person by name. If you are here in the audience, we ask you to please come forward to be recognized and then to stay up here with all of your retiring colleagues for a group picture at the end. I'm going to be sharing the name of each person, where they work, and their hire date. And this statistic was shared in the room next door. Collectively, we are celebrating tonight over 770 years of service to the Troy School District. It is my distinct honor to present to you all Ed Berkey, Maintenance for the School District, 1993. Donna Black, Food Service, Wass Elementary, 2011. Carolyn Brown, Teacher, Waddles Elementary, 2002. Patrick Dawood, Teacher, Athens, 1999. Susan Fortuna, Teacher, Troy High, 1980. Tim Fulcher, Director of Athletics, Continuing Education and Enrichment, 2008. Sheila Gannon, Transition Coordinator for the district, 1989. Mary Getz, Teacher, Bemis, 1989. Todd Hensley, Purchasing Supervisor at Rankin, 2013. Susan Hill, Paraprofessional, Martell Mustangs, 2001. Joaquina Kapuzinski, Paraprofessional, Bemis, 2007. Camille Lamesh, Teacher, Martell Mustangs, 1996. Jill Martins, Paraprofessional, Troy High, 2002. Mark Martin, teacher, Boland Park Middle School, 1999. Melvin Moffitt, teacher, Leonard Elementary, 2011. Joni Pallas, paraprofessional, Larson Middle School, 2011. Joan Porter, teacher, Barnard Elementary, 1987. Karen Reese, teacher, Costello Elementary, 1996. Matthew Ryman, teacher, Troy High, 2005. Tanya Romanchek, teacher, Hamilton Elementary, 2003. Cheryl Rowley, teacher, Hamilton Elementary, 2003. Pamela Russ, teacher, Bemis Elementary, 1993. Kitty Schmidt, teacher, Baker Middle School, 1985. Beth Soggs, Director of Technology for the Troy School District, 2017. Luba Sordel, teacher, Athens, 2003. Roseanne Sparbeck, secretary, Athens, 1999. Sandra Talent, food service, Larson Middle School, 1997. Ellen Talsma, secretary, Troy High, 1999. Julie Tomasco, paraprofessional, Larson Middle School, 1995. Raymond Torres, teacher, Smith Middle School, 2002. Bill Turner, career and technical education supervisor, Troy Learning Center, 2005. Lynn Yagley, paraprofessional, Leonard, 1996. Members of the board and ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to present to you our graduating, if you will, class of 2024, our district retirees. As we gather for the picture, I just want to remind our retirees that we have substitute teacher applications available in the HR office. Please stop by and get one.
Good plug. Good plug.
Do you want me to do this, or do you want to have somebody else do it? It doesn't matter to me.
I've been dying about it all day, so.
Maybe Patel wants to do it. Patel, do you want to read this resolution? Teacher, do you not mind doing it? Maybe it's better if Patel does it.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah. Teacher Appreciation Week. I'll say next on our, and then, I'll read, Patel, I'll read the beginning and then kick it over to you.
it feels very disingenuous.
So how about this, Carl? I'll read the beginning, then you call the motion, and then she'll read it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I don't. But I can say we're being asked to resolution, and then they have a resolution for you, and then you do it, okay? Let's just get through it.
I think she's giving you a chance to read it. So that'll give people a chance to fill in.
Okay, moving on. Thank you all. Some seats just became available in front. If anybody wants to fill in, please feel free.
There you go, yeah.
By all means, I think we've got at least 2 more rows. Fill them in. Okay, next item of recognition is National Teacher Appreciation Week. Teacher Appreciation Week is observed nationally each year in May. This year, Teacher Appreciation Week, was celebrated Monday, May 6th through Friday, May 10th. At this evening's meeting, the Troy School District and Board of Education would like to recognize all of our outstanding teachers by adopting the following resolution.
Thank you. May I have a resolution, please? Ms. Hane?
Whereas throughout Troy and across the country, teachers inspire, nurture, and open children's minds to new ideas. Whereas teachers promote and strengthen the principles of democratic equality, develop leaders, and encourage critical thinking. And whereas Troy teachers set the bar for excellence in education and continually exceed the highest standards in the profession. And whereas the goal of Teacher Appreciation Week is to raise national and local awareness of teaching excellence in building a better society. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Troy School District supports National Teacher Appreciation Week, May 6th to May 10th, 2024, and encourages our schools and community to appropriately recognize the vital and changing role of teachers in imagining and creating a better future for society.
Support. Thank you. I have a resolution by Ms. Hane, supported by Mr. Hawk. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, say no. Thank you. Resolution passes.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, Student Spotlight. It has become a tradition now to take a moment to celebrate the students whose creative spirit is alive and well across the Troy School District. So with that, I'm going to let Mr. Butcher recognize our student this evening.
Hey, we know you.
Dr. Macheski, members of our Board of Education, I need to start by thanking you for including student representatives at these meetings. This year, I have had the privilege of working with each of them in different ways, and this group is truly exceptional. And furthermore, without this opportunity, I never would have met Jayla Turner, who would go on to pursue, who would go on to pursue some of the most memorable work done by a Creative Guild student producer this year. For anyone who doesn't personally know Jayla, you should believe the hype. A senior at Troy High, at least for one more day, Jayla quickly emerged as a voice with stories to tell. With only a few months to leave their mark, I normally would not hire a senior halfway through their senior year. But it was clear that Jayla had the one thing she needed to convince me. She had undeniable passion for this work. And also because she told me to. And you can't say no to Jayla. She said, I'm going to be Student Spotlight, and look where we are. The simple definition of a producer in relation to film and such is the person who makes sure things get done. Jayla is a very natural producer. She knows people and leans on those connections. Everyone I've ever seen her interact with is so comfortable and authentic. That, in itself, is an impressive talent. We all know she has a bright future ahead of her, which may or may not involve taking Kendra Montanti's job. In such a short time, Jayla has won a first-place prize in podcasting from the Michigan Association of Broadcasters, recognition from Natus and MIPA, and was very recently, along with previous student spotlight Simi Sharma, named a Best of Show selection at DAT's Michigan Student Film Festival for their basketball documentary, which means that the project will screen live at the DIA's Detroit Film Theater. Remarkable work. And she just may have produced the most insane video ever conceptualized in the Troy School District. But I'll let you be the judge of that.
Oh, no.
Judy, can you please ask Christine to come in here and be ready? I actually, of all things, asked Judy to pull your transcript from Troy High, 1997, correct?
Yes, that's
1997, I asked you to pull your transcript. Did you know that in 1997, students needed 183 days in order to graduate? It was district policy at the time. You had to have 183 days in seat in order to graduate.
okay.
Somehow or another, you only had 182. Oh, one more day.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Christine DiPilato. I'm from central office.
How long ago did you go here?
A long time.
For some odd reason, Dr. Chesky emailed me and asked me to be Ms. DiPilato's buddy for today. So high school's definitely changed since the last time she went here. So I'm really not sure how this is gonna go.
Old. Dr. Machewski sent me back.
Dude, you have to lock in, because you're embarrassing me in front of my friends. I talk about you all the time. They're not understanding. Like, Ulti just texted me and she's confused on, like, you aren't super awesome and cool.
Good morning.
Good morning, too.
Good morning.
Stop being so nice. We don't say good morning to our teachers.
Take out a device, please.
There's nothing more tried and true than a pencil and paper. Look around the classroom. I don't have an iPad.
Back in the day.
It was so long ago, Jill, I don't even remember back in the day. Hey, this is where my locker was.
Right there? That's where the link up was?
That's it. Wow. They used to use back in the day when we didn't have phones. When I think about Troy High overall, and from my experience 25 years ago to being here today, it's really only gotten better with time. And there might be different faces in the classroom than there were, but they are equally as dedicated and really growing our students to be who we are proud of when we watch them walk across the stage.
I think she's going to have a great appreciation for what our students and our teachers do on a daily basis, and I think that that's a great thing for anybody to just have that perspective gaining.
Mom, I did it!
Of course, that is just a small preview. There's a lot more where that came from, and we showed you mostly the funny stuff. In the full version, you'll see us blending the fun of a mockumentary with reality, showcasing our curriculum, teachers, and most importantly, the incredible community that we have at Troy High, representative of the wider Troy School District. So keep an eye out for that. Also, thank you to Christine DiPilato, who usually visits classrooms as an observer, but became a participant for that video. And thanks to Dr. Machewski, Mr. Ronconi, the teachers and students involved, and a big thanks to Jayla Turner, whose commitment has shined through to the very end. So, we now open to any potential comments or questions from the board, but first, Jayla, if you'd like to say a few words, it is all yours.
Good
Good evening, everyone. For starters, I want to thank the district and Mr. Butcher for this opportunity to be here and to be a part of the Creative Guild and giving me the platform to do awesome projects while continuing to learn and grow as a creative producer. For those of you that don't know, I discovered the Creative Guild just this year, and I've already learned so much. I've been able to build my portfolio, expand my network, and bring our community together through various podcasts, videos, and more. Never in a million years will I think that my senior year would consist of joining Dr. Machewski on his podcast, bringing Miss DiPilato to school with me to be a student for a day, or being able to use what I've learned about film to make a first-year highlight video of Troy High's finest, Assistant Carrie Brennan. I can't imagine not being a part of the Guild this year. It's been a dream. Mr. Butcher, I cannot thank you enough for your patience, time, and experience you've poured into me in such a short time. I'd like to thank my parents who rarely see me because I'm always on the go, because I'm always on the go trying to learn as much as I can. I would also like to thank everyone who has collaborated with me this year, especially Ms. DiPilato for taking the time out of her day and being the star of my very last project of my senior year. Lastly, I want to thank my teachers, counselors, and administration who always agree to be a part of whatever video or podcast I'm working on and being flexible with my filming schedule if need be. I'm extremely grateful to be this month's Student Spotlight, but none of this would be possible without the people who support me. Again, thank you for having me tonight and thank you for this recognition.
Would you like to invite your parents to stand up and introduce them to us? Would you like to have your parents stand up and introduce them to us? Come on. Do we have any tough questions for her? Go ahead.
So what's next?
Next year I'll be studying communications at Central Michigan, and I'm also a leadership scholar there.
I do have one more comment question. So it seems like the Creative Guild, is something that's right up your alley, and in some ways it might have been better that you found it sooner. But I think this also shows that not everything needs to be discovered in 8th grade or 9th grade. So just in general, as students are entering high school, what advice would you give them about seeking opportunity, even if it seems like it might be a late moment to do it?
What I would say is it's all about who you know. So, again, like he said, he wouldn't know me if I wasn't a board rep here. So, just being nice to everybody because you don't know who knows who. So, that's what I'm saying.
Wow. Great. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I always ask what people's favorite project is.
Okay, so I have a tie right now. Obviously, as you can see, I had a great time with Miss DiPilato, but I also did a video about Miss Brennan. And Miss Brennan was my basketball coach, and she taught at the middle school that I was at, so having her come in for my senior year and, being able to highlight that in the video, that was really an awesome project, too.
That's cool.
Great. Go ahead.
How did you come up with the idea to bring Miss DiPilato back to school?
Okay, so most people in here, if you know me, you know that that's my homegirl, I'd say. I love her. So basically, Thomas came to visit me at school because we were working on something else, and I was like, hey, I want to do 3 more projects before the year ends. And I was like, I don't know what I want that 3rd one to be. And he was like, well, what about an administrator, coming back to school, being a student without all their administration special superpowers, So we went through our administration, and I was just like, well, I just did a video on Miss Brennan, so no. And everybody else was in that. So I was like, well, what about Miss DiPilato? Because she never sees the classroom the way we do. So we brought her on back.
Oh, that was great. Very good.
Awesome.
That is. We have a certificate for you over here.
Thank you.
And last on recognition is Mental Health Awareness Month resolution.
Thank you. Each year, Oakland County Health Network, along with its service provider network, hosts an array of initiatives that promote community awareness about mental illness. Our schools also work hard to increase awareness and end the stigma for those seeking help during the month of May, which we've been asked to recognize, along with other school boards across Oakland County as Mental Health Awareness Month. May I have a resolution, please? Dr. Wilson.
Whereas mental health is important for our individual well-being and vitality, as well as that of our families, communities, and schools. Whereas 1 in 5 of all Americans, including children, experience mental health issues that could lead to school difficulties, physical problems, and even suicide. Whereas May 9th is designated as National Children's Mental Health Awareness Day, and May 5th through 11th is designated as Children's Mental Health Acceptance Week. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Troy Board of Education hereby recognizes May 2024 as Mental Health Awareness Month and seeks to increase the awareness and understanding of mental illness and the need to support all people seeking help.
Support.
Thank you. I have a resolution by Dr. Wilson, supported by Dr. Philippart. Do we have any questions or comments about the resolution? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, opposed say no. Thank you. Resolution passes. All right, and that takes us to the end of recognition, correct? Yes. Okay, so we're going to take about a 5-minute recess, so you're welcome to stay for the exciting business of the board, but if you want to jump out at this point, this is your chance to do it, and we'll reconvene in about 5 minutes. Thank you so much.
Mary Sheridan, if you're in the room. Mary Sheridan.
Okay, we're going to continue now. Additions and deletions.
There are none this evening.
Thank you. Public communication on agenda items.
There are none.
All right, thank you. That moves us to our general consent agenda. The general consent agenda consists of the minutes of the April 2nd, 2024 Board of Education workshop, the minutes of the April 16th, 2024 Board of Education meeting, the treasurer's report from March of 2024. We need our approval of the Oakland Intermediate School District budget, a resolution to hold a public hearing on the proposed 2024-2025 school year budget, our food service contract renewal, and the IA budget approval for the 2024-2025 school year. May I have a resolution, please? Mr. Hoff.
Be it therefore resolved that the Troy Board of Education takes action to approve items A, B, C, D, E, F, and G on the consent agenda. Support.
Thank you. I have a resolution by Mr. Hoff, supported by Mr. Hopt, just to make me tongue-tie here. Are there any questions or comments on the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Opposed, say no. Thank you. Resolution passes. Okay, that moves us to personnel. Mr. Pagel, welcome to the podium.
Good evening once again, everyone.
Good evening.
I have this evening for your consideration some new hire appointments, first of which is an administrative appointment for a finance director. I am pleased to recommend the appointment of Mr. Aurel Malutin to the position of finance director. Mr. Malutin has a comprehensive 14-year career in finance and accounting. He holds a Bachelor of Accountancy and dual master's degrees in finance and business administration from Walsh College. He began his career in the Brighton area school district. He has also been employed by East Point Community Schools and Bloomfield Hills Schools. He is currently the assistant finance manager in Birmingham Public Schools. Mr. Malutin is also the owner of his own consulting LLC, which provides part-time financial consulting. He also holds Chief Financial Officer certification from Michigan Business Officials Organization. With your approval, Mr. Malutin will begin his duties as finance director as of July 1, 2024.
Thank you. We're being asked to appoint a new finance director. May I have a resolution, please? Dr. Philippart.
Be it therefore resolved that the Board of Education issues a 2-year probationary administrative contract without tenure in the administrative position to Mr. Aurel Malutin, who will begin his duties as finance director as of July 1st, 2024.
Support.
Thank you. A resolution by Dr. Philippart, supported by Ms. Alish. Are there any questions or comments about this? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, say no. Thank you. Resolution passes.
Next up for your consideration, I have an administrative appointment for an assistant principal at Athens High School. I am pleased to recommend the appointment of Mr. Benjamin Cronin to the position of assistant principal at Athens High School. Mr. Cronin started his career as director of athletics and physical education and health teacher at Jalen Rose Leadership Academy in Detroit. Mr. Cronin then became a physical education teacher at Harper Woods High School. In 2018, Mr. Cronin moved to Divine Child High School in Dearborn, where he served as Dean of Students and as an Assistant Athletic Director. The past 2 years, Mr. Cronin has served as Assistant Principal at Divine Child High School. Mr. Cronin has a bachelor's degree in education and kinesiology from the University of Michigan, where he also earned a varsity letter in men's basketball. He then earned a master's degree in administration from Michigan State University. With your approval, Mr. Cronin will begin his duties as Assistant Principal at Athens, commencing with the 2024-25 school year.
Thank you. We're being asked to approve the appointment of a new assistant principal at Athens High School. May I have a resolution, please? Dr. Wilson.
Be it therefore resolved that the Board of Education issues a 2-year administrative contract without tenure in the administrative position to Mr. Benjamin Cronin, who will begin his duties as Assistant Principal at Athens High School, commencing with the 24-25 school year.
Support. Thank you. A resolution by Dr. Wilson, supported by Mr. Hopt. Are there any questions or comments about this appointment? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, say no. Thank you.
Next for your consideration, another administrative appointment, this one for principal at Wass Elementary. I am pleased to recommend the appointment of Mrs. Kristen Crow to the position of principal at Wass Elementary. Mrs. Crow started her career as a special education teacher at Bloomfield Hills Middle School from 2005 to 2017. She moved on to become assistant principal at Forsyth Middle School in Ann Arbor before becoming principal at Ann Arbor Preschool and Family Center. Most recently, Mrs. Crow has worked as special education supervisor right here in Troy. Mrs. Crow holds a Bachelor of Arts in Special Education from Michigan State University and a Master of Arts in Emotional Impairment from Michigan State University. Mrs. Crow received her Education Specialist degree from Oakland University in 2012. With your approval, Mrs. Crow will begin her principal position at Wass Elementary, commencing with the 24-25 school year.
Great. Thank you. We're being asked to approve the appointment of a new principal for Wass Elementary. Mr. Hopt seems eager to offer this resolution. I guess we know where your home school is, don't we, Mr. Hopt? Okay.
Be it therefore resolved that the Board of Education issues a 2-year probationary administrative contract without tenure in the administrative position to Mrs. Kristen Crow, who will begin her duties as principal of Wass Elementary School, commencing with the 2024-25 school year.
Support.
Thank you. I have a resolution by Mr. Hopt, supported by Ms. Alish. Are there any questions or comments about this appointment? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, say no. Thank you. Resolution passes.
And finally, this evening, for your consideration, we have 3 elementary special education hires. It is recommended that the Board of Education approves the issuance of a probationary contract to the following teachers for the 23-24 school year. Victoria Auten, speech pathologist at Waddles Elementary. Sierra Dietz, social worker at Troy Preschool, and Anna Greenblatt, social worker at Hill Elementary School.
Thank you. We're being asked to approve the appointment of 3 new elementary and secondary staff members. May I have a resolution, please? Ms. Alish.
Be it therefore resolved that the Board of Education takes action to approve the aforementioned personnel recommendations as stated above.
Support.
I was going to give that to Ms. Ane. I already wrote it down, so I'm going to. But thank you. We have a resolution by Ms. Alish, supported by Ms. Ane. Are there any questions or comments about this? I have one, which is, do you think they'll be able to catch up? No.
They hit the ground running very quickly.
Okay.
Here, so.
Are they already in place at this point? They are. Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other smart remarks? Okay. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, say no. Thank you. Resolution passes, and welcome to all our new staff members. Thank you, Mr. Pagel. Okay.
I was gonna just, since we're in the personnel section, do we have any other outstanding administrative positions that are open?
So we will have now a elementary special education supervisor vacant, and I think that is it for the moment.
Okay. Great. Okay, we move to curriculum. Yes, thank you.
A question I often ask myself.
Okay. Good play, good line, good line. Just roll with it, it's great. Okay. Are you going to do this?
Yeah, I'm gonna do
okay,
this.
all right. Okay, next we move to curriculum.
Yes, Mr. Schmidt and members of the board, we have just one item for curriculum this evening, and the board had an opportunity to hear an extensive conversation when we were together last at our workshop around where we are with our math implementation, and asked that we share this with the community, given that last year about this time there were some questions or concerns brought forward about the implementation of the math curriculum, and more specifically the sequencing at the middle school level. So wanted to give the community an update as to where we are, and then at the end there will be a resolution for an Algebra 1, new Algebra 1 and Honors Algebra 1 curriculum for the 24-25 school year. This first slide, this is fairly short, so really this is designed to more also identify areas that as we look forward, that we as a group would like to lean into in terms of how we can continue to do our work better. So what we learned, the importance of stakeholder communication, of course, that's something that we believe strongly in. But in this particular case, I think what we learned, although we were focused on an implementation at the middle school level, so we were focused on 6 through 8, and we talked mainly to, or provided information mainly to incoming 6th grade parents, so current 5th grade parents. What we learned was that there are many other parents who were not immediately, let's say, impacted, but had questions, concerns, and so forth. So moving forward, expanding grade levels in terms of the conversations that we have, maybe not all at the same time. Maybe there's information that incoming 6th grade parents need to have that's different than, say, a 2nd grade parent, but still providing opportunities to have those conversations or something that came forward. And beginning also potentially earlier in the process, having those meetings. We did have meetings set. We had math nights set. We had parent information nights set. But I think a takeaway was we might want to back that process up a couple of months and start a little bit sooner. So that was a key takeaway from us. And also we got some feedback regarding assessments. Although we planned on including new assessments, maybe sharing that information sooner in the process to know what assessments would be used to gauge success for implementation and so forth. So good takeaways from for us as a team moving forward, and those are already, you will see, being implemented. This year, I'll call this promises made, promises kept. We promised at the end of last year 2 things: that we would lean heavily into professional learning for our math staff, in particular K-8, pre-K-8 staff, because those were that's where we were implementing new curriculum. And so you can see those bulleted points. We hosted summer learning. We had job-embedded professional learning during the course of the year. We had held both parent and math nights at all of our middle schools. We're currently piloting, back to the assessment comment, we're currently piloting NWEA standardized assessments, and that is going well. We're going to learn from the initial assessments this year at 6th grade and move that forward as we learn forward. We had a total of over 500 students test out already this spring. That's all students and testing out already this spring, so certainly our parents are taking advantage of test out opportunities. And we brought Dr. Coe in to talk to our parents about Algebra 1 Honors and Math 8. And so we're moving, we've moved the professional learning piece along this year, so promises made. We also promised, the second promise was that we would continue to lean into our math specialist program, and we certainly did that. That was a lot of the job-embedded professional learning was led by our math specialists, coaching led by our math specialists, so we're going to continue to lean into that. We're committed to these 2 again next year, again, committing to the continued extensive professional learning as well as continued support for our math specialists. Where we are for the resolution this evening, we're asking the board to consider an Algebra 1 adoption. We had resources that were established, or cohorts, that were established in the 22-23 school year, reviewed potential resources, And you will see from the continued bulleted points there, we had an opportunity to look at all of those resources, hosted a parent night about a pilot that we were doing. And we had updates in our monthly newsletters, again, leaning back into some of the things we learned prior, moving those forward, being more intentional in terms of sharing more broadly across the district information about our Algebra 1 rollout. Although that didn't impact any, there was no course sequencing impacted by that, we wanted to make sure that we were given extensive information to our community. And we also partnered with the Michigan Math and Science Network to embed 8th grade standards into our Algebra 1 Honors course. You'll see that the recommendation this evening for the board is for the implementation of illustrative mathematics. That was piloted extensively through the course of this year. You can see the other 3 that were looked at, and we provided the board with some rationale as to why illustrative math bubbled to the front, or to the top, excuse me. Ultimately, the team recommends the adoption of illustrative math for both Algebra 1 and Algebra 1 Honors for the coming school year. There is a resolution to that effect.
Yes, it's right here. I've got it right here. Mhm.
All right. So it would be appropriate at this time for the board to consider that resolution?
Sure. So we're being, I don't think I need to read this again. I think we're good. Okay, we're being asked to approve the recommended Algebra 1 mathematics materials adoption. May I have a resolution, please? Dr. Philippart.
Be it therefore resolved that the Algebra 1 mathematical materials mentioned above be recommended for the 2024-2025 school year.
Support.
I have a resolution by Dr. Philippart and apparently supported by everyone. Mr. Hopt, I'll count for this one. Are there any questions or comments about this adoption? Mr. Hopt.
For Mrs. DiPilato, when will we see the results of the rigor and results of this curriculum? How soon can we expect to see an increase in this performance?
Great question, Mr. Hoff. You preempted my last slide there. You can see that, and I apologize, I should have shared this prior to the resolution, but for the board's continued consideration, the team identified 3 goals moving forward, and to your specific point, Mr. Hoff, we're going to continue to look at student performance as it relates to the PSAT suite of assessments, as well as the SAT in 11th grade. We're going to be looking at grades and course progression in Algebra 1, both in 8th and 9th grade. And then we'll be looking at, we'll be working directly with teachers as they assess problem-solving skills and additional communication skills that are strengthened through this curriculum and monitored through internal common assessments. Some of the additional measurements that we spoke with the board about back at our workshop, you'll see listed below. Of course, we've identified the PSAT, SAT suite because that is a nationally normed assessment that is given and that we can track on an annual basis with our students. We'll continue to look at NWEA, as I indicated before. While we piloted that with our 6th graders, we're going to move that forward and continue to learn what those assessments mean for our students and how, more importantly, they inform instruction in our classrooms and so forth. We'll continue to look at our unit assessments, common assessments, and so forth. So, Mr. Hoff, specifically to your question, it's going to take a couple of years before we know fully what the impact is for our students, but that does not mean that we won't immediately begin gathering information, which has already started to that end.
And professional development will continue.
Professional development will continue, correct.
Ms. Sine?
Just to clarify to the public, this Algebra 1 curriculum that we are purchasing is going to be implemented in 26, 27, right? So right now, 6th graders got the illustrative math, 24, 25.
It'll go in Algebra 1 starting next year.
Starting this year.
Oh, so 25, 26, it's out?
Yeah.
Next
school year,
24, 25.
24, 25.
Correct, 24,
Yes.
25.
That's for Algebra 1 and Honors Algebra 1.
Okay.
And this is going to be the same curriculum that's in 6
Sixth, seventh, and eighth grade,
math. So
yeah.
we're just continuing with the.
Yeah, so we'll have a very nice coherent progression for students 6, 7, 8, and then algebra and algebra honors.
So just to clarify, so we had our 6th graders last year take illustrative math.
And 7th.
Our 7th graders also?
And 7th graders, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
6th and 7th
Yeah.
graders.
Will be fully implemented through algebra next year.
And I do want to comment that I appreciate the 3 goals that you've laid out and that they're not in order of importance. Particularly number 3 to me, with our focus on deep learning and kind of a de-emphasis of standardized testing as the end-all. I really appreciate that you're talking about these skills. We want to build student problem-solving skills and communication of mathematical thinking, and that relies on the strength of our teachers to be able to assess what they see going on in the classroom, to be able to listen and record what it is that the students are doing, and to see that kind of progress. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So I really do appreciate that, because I think that's every bit as important as what we see in goals 1 and 2. Okay, any other comments or questions on this? Okay, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor of adoption, please say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, opposed, say no. Thank you. We have a new math curriculum for algebra. Okay, and I think that moves us to business with Mr. West. Good evening, Mr. West.
Good evening, Mr. Schmidt, Dr. Macheski, members of the board. There we go. That should shut off. There we go. We've got 5 agenda items for your consideration this evening. I'm going to try to use, here we go. It's important to know, as we do most every meeting, that the Board of Education did have an opportunity to review all of these items at our workshop a couple of weeks ago and had thorough discussions regarding each of them. It's also important to know 4 of the 5 of them are out of our capital projects fund, or our bond funds. Our bond funds were approved by the voters in November of 2022, the $555 million bond that we're very grateful for. These projects have begun, and it's important to note that those funds can only be used for capital projects. They cannot be used for operational use. So I just want to clarify that for the community and make sure that there's a thorough understanding that those funds are for capital projects only. So having said that, 8A, consideration for new Smith ground improvement. A RFP was issued to obtain competitive bids for ground soil stabilization and improvement work for the new Smith Middle School. Bid responses were reviewed by Rob Carson, Director of Operations, and Barton Mallow Builders, and it's recommended the bid be awarded as stated below.
Okay,
Just a little bit of background here. We have started clearing, if anybody's been driven by. We have started moving the earth there, and this...
More than what we did with the shovels?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
more than what we did at the opening. It's very exciting, and what this is going to do is basically approve to make sure that the building stands for years to come. So it's very important.
Okay, great. So we're being asked to approve measures to stabilize the ground under the new Smith Middle School. May I have a resolution, please? Mr. Hoff?
Be it therefore resolved that the bid for ground soil stabilization and improvement work be awarded to CNC Foundations Incorporated in the amount of $370,920, and that this amount be approved as an expenditure of the 2023 Capital Projects Fund.
Support.
Thank you. I have a resolution by Mr. Hoff, supported by Ms. Alish. Any questions or comments for Mr. West? Go ahead, Ms. Alish.
So when is this work expected to begin?
It's going to commence within probably the next couple weeks.
Ms. Enning?
Just a clarification, is that a 2022 capital projects fund?
2023. We sold the bonds in 23.
Okay, you sold,
Yeah.
okay, that's.
Yeah,
good.
February
It's
of
been
23.
consistent with the other resolutions.
Yeah. Okay, good. Any other questions for him? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, opposed, say no. Thank you. We have a stable ground for the new middle school.
8B, consideration for WAS oven purchase. A RFP was issued to obtain competitive bids.
Can you hold on for a second? It's really hard to hear up here. There's a lot of chatter going on. Can we give Mr. Mr. West respect here? Thank you. Go ahead.
ARP
Nope, don't
was
start.
issued to-
It's still too loud. It's really, I'm serious. It's really hard to hear with a lot of people with the sound coming this way. Okay, go ahead, Mr. West.
ARFP was issued to obtain competitive bids for 2 electric combi ovens. Bid responses were reviewed by Gil Moran, Food Service Liaison, and it's recommended the bid be awarded as stated below.
Thank you. We're being asked to purchase new oven for WAS. May I have a resolution, please? It's WAS. It has to be Mr. Hopt.
I
Okay.
just really like ovens. Be it therefore resolved that the bid for 2 electric combi ovens be awarded to Gold Star Products in the amount of $32,542, and that this amount be approved as an expenditure of the Food Service Fund.
Support.
Thank you. Resolution by Mr. Hopt, supported by Dr. Philippart. Are there any questions or comments about this? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, opposed, say no. Thank you. We have our Gold Star ovens purchased.
8C, consideration for Epic Communication and Security Platform to improve safety and security and communication, I would add. It is recommended we pilot the Epic Education Paging and Intercom Communications System at Leonard and Bemis Elementaries. The REMC cooperative agreement was used to obtain competitive pricing. It's recommended the bid be awarded as stated below. A little bit of background, if I can, regarding this, just so the community has a thorough understanding. As we were thinking about the standardization of products within our new Smith Middle School, we went and evaluated paging system, intercom systems. We went over to Royal Oak to look at theirs. They had the Epic system. We decided that it would be in the best interest when we brought it back, and we dialogued and collaborated as a team that we address some of the intercom issues, the paging system issues in Leonard and Bemis Elementaries that are going on, and pilot the security features as it relates to this system as well. So that is where this comes from. It's a security and a communications feature that we want to pilot there, and then we will look at how we expand that throughout the district should the pilot go well.
All right, thank you. We're being asked to consider a pilot to purchase Epic Communication and a security platform for 2 of our schools. May I have a resolution, please? Ms. Sane?
Be it therefore resolved that the purchase of the EPIC system to be awarded to Inacomp TSG in the amount of $424,952, and that this amount be approved as an expenditure of the general fund and 2023 capital projects fund.
Support.
Thank you. Resolution by Ms. Sane, supported by Ms. Lalish. Questions or comments on this, Ms. Lalish?
When we talked about this at the workshop, there was some indication that it would be possible to have a part of this covered by grant funds.
Yeah. Yeah, a majority of this will be covered by our safety and security grant. So we have the 97C that was used, and then 31AA funding. So some of it will be general fund. Those grant funds are accounted for in the general fund, and then some of it will be the 23 capital projects funds. We asked for both, so we have the flexibility to do the accounting as the year end closes.
So this is the total cost of the system,
Total
but it could be offset by, we might get some offset.
Cost, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's in the tune of 300 and some thousand, so almost 75%.
Okay.
But we'll continue to evaluate that.
Other questions? I just have one. Do you know what the lifespan is of this equipment? And if we were going to expand, do you have any sense as to by what year would we have this system across all our buildings? Sorry, I should have asked you that in the workshop. If you don't know, that's okay.
Yeah, we would have to get back to you on the life of the product, as well as
what that rollout would look like. But the goal would be is if we're satisfied with this in these 2 applications, the goal would be to roll that out universally across all our buildings eventually?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Any other questions? All right, thank you. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, opposed, say no. Thank you. Resolution passes. 8D.
Yes, iPad purchase. It's recommended that the following resolution to purchase additional iPads be approved. Pricing was obtained from REMC bid.
Thank you. We're being asked to consider purchase of new iPads for, I believe it's for freshmen. Is that right?
That's correct.
For freshmen. May I have a resolution, please? Ms. Sunny, go ahead.
Be it therefore resolved that the district purchase iPads and cases from Apple Computers in the amount of $493,845, and that this amount be approved as an expenditure of the 2023 Capital Projects Fund.
Support.
Thank you. A resolution by Ms. Sunny, supported by Mr. Hopt. Just for the sake of the community, can you clarify this, or I can clarify? So this is the normal replacement cycle, and it's for the freshman purchase, is that correct?
That's correct.
So it's not that we're adding iPads, this is part of our normal replacement cycle?
That's correct.
Okay. Good. Any questions? Go ahead, Dr. Wilson.
Usually these purchases have a comment about E-rate. Is E-rate still a thing?
E-rate is still a thing. I do not believe, I would have to follow up on that, Dr. Wilson. I don't know if this qualifies.
I was going to say, I don't think we've ever done E-rate on iPads.
Yeah, I'll work with Troy on whether or not this is E-rateable.
Okay.
But we'll look into that. I would assume it's not, given that it wasn't in the write-up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Other questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, opposed, say no. Thank you, resolution passes. 8E.
8E, we are buying scoreboards and sound systems for our two stadiums. It's recommended that the following resolution to replace scoreboards and audio systems for the stadiums at Athens High School and Troy High School be approved. Pricing was obtained from Oakland Schools AEPA Consortium. Just a little bit of context here. Both scoreboards are part of the bond program, so a one-to-one replacement. We did evaluate a more modernized approach to it with the video. We believed it was cost prohibitive at this time. It certainly wasn't in the bond. A collaborative group came together to evaluate whether or not that was worth the cost, and they determined that this was the best course of action to take as it relates to that. The sound system we did receive, and I appreciate some of the conversation and dialogue we've been able to have over the last couple of days regarding this. The audio systems at the audio system at Athens has failed. We were on a temporary system for the end of the football season, I believe, and into the spring. And the Troy High School, albeit it's working, we do want to get that on the same system. We use these heavily. I had Tim reach out to our contractor and ask him, why. We use them quite extensively. They would expect 10 years out of them. Athens did fail a little bit prior to that. So we're recommending the replacement of both the scoreboard and the audio systems at both stadiums. I believe in the write-up we provided some dialogue or some communication regarding how many events actually take place there. Our facilities get used, which is great, and having a modernized, updated scoreboard and audio system is the recommendation of the collaborative group, and we give it to you for consideration this evening.
Okay, thank you. We're being asked to approve the purchase of new stadium scoreboards and audio systems. May I have a resolution, please? Dr. Philippart.
Be it therefore resolved that the district purchase new scoreboards and audio systems for the Athens and Troy High School stadiums from Daktronics and installation by Johnson Sign Company in the amount of $170,500, inclusive of a 10% contingency, and that this amount be approved as an expenditure of the 2023 bond fund.
Support.
Thank you. A resolution by Dr. Philippart, supported by Dr. Wilson. Are there any questions?
I can verify that the Athens audio
has failed.
Has failed, so I'm glad to hear we'll have some working audio for that community.
Good, Ms. Sunny.
I just have a comment. I had a bunch of questions, and I reached out to Tim Fulcher, who called me back and asked about it, about why something failed, which its life was 10 years, why it failed in 7 years. And I believe one of the reasons could be that I heard is that Athens, the scoreboard and the system faces south, which gets direct sun and direct snow and direct everything on it. And they think that could be one of the reasons why it didn't last as long as the Troy High one, which faces north and it doesn't get as much elements. And that was the explanation I heard, and obviously we need it. Okay.
Well, thank you. I've just learned something too.
What's the timeline for installation on these?
We want to have these installed by the fall season.
In time for the football season?
So, yeah,
Okay.
so it's a summer project.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, opposed, say no. Thank you. Resolution passes.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. West. Okay, so we're going to move into public comment. I do want to make a general statement here, and then we'll go into public comment on non-agenda items. Do we still have 18? Is that correct? 18. We have 18, so while I make my statement, I do want folks to know that we'll be allotting 2 minutes for each speaker. So if you want to do any editing, you can. So I did want to just give the community a general update on the bargaining that we're doing with our teacher union right now. The Troy School District and the TA bargaining teams have had 4 bargaining sessions since April 16th and a total of 15 sessions to date. Most recently, meetings have focused on the school calendar with the district and the TA bargaining teams, and the district and the TA bargaining teams have made significant progress. Our administration seeks a competitive compensation package that will attract new and retain current staff and is sustainable over time. Both parties agree that Troy's pay schedule should be aligned and among the tops in Michigan, and both teams will work collaboratively to that end. This year's bargaining cycle across the state has been uniquely complex due to several formerly prohibited topics such as evaluation, teacher placement, et cetera. And this kind of strange situation has elongated the bargaining process here in Troy and across the state. The Troy School District will use a portion of our fund balance to settle this contract. We have already committed to that. Both parties have agreed to bring in a Michigan Employment Relations Commission mediator to assist in finalizing an agreement. The district's 2 most recent contracts have also been settled with the help of an independent mediator. The first mediation session will take place this Wednesday, May 22nd, with additional sessions planned depending on the need. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is I hope people have noticed recently that there is an open letter to our legislature signed by 13 organizations across the state. It's essentially a coalition of every public education organization in the state, including MEA and ATF. And I have to say that we can't afford to, first of all, we're really excited about this. When Dr. Macheski and I went and met with the State Senate Appropriations Chair about 6 weeks ago, we went through a strong argument to demonstrate that what the governor was recommending would not be adequate for us, and that we wanted to, and we identified alternatives that would allow us to add $400 to $500 per pupil for all of us that are in brick and mortar school systems. So we're very happy to see that we start pushing on that boulder, and in the last 6 weeks we've seen a groundswell of support from public entities that really care about public education. So we're very excited about that. We have to secure better state funding for public education, and I'm really happy that while we're working on this specific contract resolution and trying to make sure that we don't set ourselves up for financial insecurity here, while we do that, I appreciate that simultaneous cooperative effort that we're seeing across both sides of this bargaining process to try to fix the root problem, which is inadequate funding of public education here in the state of Michigan. So we have a lot of people here, and I want to say I know there's a lot of people here doing a lot of work to try to make that happen, and we are completely supportive of that and driving the process to whatever extent we can. Okay, so with that, we have 18 public speakers. I will call you up. We've got a big timer, but unfortunately the timer isn't optimized for 2 minutes. So we're going to give you 2 1-minute sessions. So if you keep track up here, Ms. Ane will get to be timekeeper as we go through. I would ask, as I always ask in public comment, this is a chance to come forward and address the board. Because of the forum, we can't have a dialogue with our speakers, but it's an opportunity for you to be able to read into record your position on things. And I'd ask just that we be cordial to each other, that we speak to each other, we don't shout at each other. I would ask that the speakers address the board. And again, this is your opportunity to provide the Board of Education with your perspective. Okay? I think that's probably a good start. So I have Mariana Parakis is my first speaker.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Verify, you said 2 minutes?
Pardon me?
2 minutes?
2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Ms. Holmes, Dr. Macheski, members of the board. My name is Mariana Parakis. I have 5 kids. I've been in the district since 2008, and I'll continue to be a parent in the district until 2032. For as long as I can remember, the Troy School District has talked about how the district's greatest asset is its people. This district has taken advantage of the goodwill, hard work, determination, dedication, and commitment of Troy school teachers who've been patiently waiting for the day that they earn a fair wage. Frankly, we should be embarrassed that we're rated as one of the top school districts in the state, yet we underpay our greatest assets just because we can. We don't have time to wait and hope that our teachers are going to stick around. I'm in awe of the fact that they continue to go above and beyond despite not having a contract, but I don't expect them to do it much longer. Every teacher I've spoken with hates that they feel pressured to not put our kids first just to get your attention. The exploitation must end. It all comes down to priorities. When you put together a budget, you list out your priorities and you find the money for things that are at the top of your list. You found money to implement curriculum changes that decimated our honors program with or without the support of the teachers. The least you can do is for once put the teachers at the top of the list and treat them like the stakeholders that they are. Treat them like partners, let them lead the discussions on curriculum. They are the ones in the classrooms with the students. Instead, we're paying specialists to run experiments in our classrooms, when the strongest evidence shows that countries that pay their teachers an enviable wage show the greatest advancements in education. Return to the negotiation table with a new mindset. Stop looking for reasons of why you can't do it. Have an open mind and figure out a way you can. If we're selling this district as the best in the state, then our teachers should be the highest paid teachers in the state. Attract and retain talent. It's time to do the right thing. World-class schools rely on world-class teachers who deserve to be compensated at a world-class rate.
Thank you. Dr. Audra Melton. Dr. Audra Melton.
Call who's on deck, maybe?
Yeah, because we're so packed in here, I'll call who's on deck. So if you can work your way forward, that would be really helpful. Mrs. Stephanie Zendler is the next speaker after Dr. Melton. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Audra Melton, and I am a parent of a TSD graduate and a senior. One more day. As a 42-year resident of Troy, an Athens graduate, a parent, and a retiree of TSD, I have invested much of my life and career into the success of the district. I would like to formally announce my candidacy for the Troy School Board with hopes of continuing my history of positive contributions to the district. With my unique background, I can bring new insights as we work to provide educational excellence for all kids. I have some relevant but less known expertise that I'd also like to share. My doctoral cognate or specialty is in labor and industrial relations. I was trained by both traditional and interest-based bargaining by the MASB as well as the MEA. I have long recognized the importance of teacher retention, so much so that I dedicated my doctoral dissertation research to this area. While my research focused on the principal's role in retaining teachers, as a board there are policies and other board initiatives that can aid in attracting and retaining the highest quality teachers, one of those being a fair and equitable contract. As a former administrator, I can testify to the dramatic decrease in the number of qualified applicants for teaching and support positions. Without a competitive contract, it will only become harder to solicit top applicants to teach our next generation in Troy.
Thank you. This is Stephanie Zendler, and hold for just a second. Mr. Alex Karpowitz is the next speaker on deck, okay? Go ahead.
Thanks.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Zundler. I'm a Troy resident and a 13-year TSD parent. I have 7 former and current TSD students in my family who've been both loved and educated by many of the people in this room who have the whatever it takes TSD teaching staff attitude. These people deserve a fair contract that honors their impact to our community. This situation is yet another example of how our TSD Board of Education can and should lead by listening and do better by our teachers, our students, and the community at large. Professionally speaking, I've worked for 25 years as a public school teacher and administrator and a former union president, including 12 years here in the TSD. My loyalty to public education and to the children and families in the TSD makes me eager and excited to announce my candidacy for the TSD School Board. I'm deeply passionate about ensuring that every student in our district has access to a world-class education. I'm committed to listening to the concerns of our community, working collaboratively with our teachers and our administrators, and making informed and data-based decisions that prioritize the needs of all of our students and our staff. I believe that every child and staff member deserves a safe, supportive, and challenging learning environment that prepares them for success in college, career, and life. I'm eager to bring my experience in public education, my skills in communication, leadership, and problem solving to the school board to help drive positive change and make our schools the best they can be for all members of our learning community. Thank you for considering my candidacy, and I look forward to earning your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Alex Karpowitz, and on deck, is that Nick? Mr. Nick Didosha? Didosha, I'm sorry. Yes, you take that.
Good evening. My name is Alex Karpowitz. I'm a Troy resident and 2004 Troy High graduate. While I intended to detail while I'm running for Troy School Board this fall, I am too moved by what I saw as I drove towards the administration building at 5:30 this afternoon and must address this, as this matter takes precedence and speaks to the current climate in Troy School District. I attended my first school board meeting 381 days ago, May 2nd, 2023. 2 weeks later, I watched as 34 individuals addressed the school board. 33 out of the 34 individuals who spoke that evening spoke out in opposition to a proposed curriculum change. The vote took place, the curriculum change was adopted, and the assumption by everyone sitting and facing the audience this evening was that this was all going to blow over and go away. The 2 candidates I'm running with this fall and I are here tonight to tell you it's not going away. The Troy teachers here this evening are here to tell you they're not going away, even as summer is upon us and Troy's teachers still don't have a contract. I believe all the individuals facing the audience this evening have sat through numerous May school board meetings, and while I've only sat through 1 May meeting, I know the May meetings are a time where achievements are celebrated and decades of service are honored. It is deeply disappointing then to see that Troy teachers have been forced to picket up and down Livernois in 85-degree heat, advocating for a fair and equitable contract. I guess this is the current climate of Troy School District. I am disappointed that school district leadership, who have sat through years of capacity crowd May meetings, didn't have the foresight to move this meeting to a more appropriate venue. Troy teachers deserve better. Troy teachers deserve better. Troy deserves better. That's why I'm running for school board.
Thank you. Mr. Nick Didosha. Hold on, Mr. Didosha. Hold on just for a second. And then up on deck is Ms. Karen Hunt. Go ahead. Hi.
Hi. Mr. Board President, fellow trustees, I have attended Troy schools my entire life, except for these last 4 years I have spent at Michigan State. And this year, I have returned this summer to find the school district I've loved, grew me, nurtured me in disarray. The few that have spoken before me and the many that will speak after me will express their frustration with the fact that our teachers do not have a contract. However, the reality is this is far more about money and benefits, but respect. Time and time again, this district has disrespected its teachers through various means, in particular, allowing their contract to expire 4 times in 10 years. The disrespect does not end there. By failing your teachers, you fail your students. Students like me, who need their teachers' extra support, and most of that comes from time after class. Time that these teachers are now having to take for themselves by walking in and out when the school day begins and ends, because that is the only way they can get your attention. Teachers should not have to Teachers should not have to pick between the supporting their students and supporting themselves, and students should not have to pick between a letter grade and supporting their teachers. But if you go into every high school this week, every student will pick the teachers time and time again because they know they are supported by them. You can have all the fanciest furniture, the newest iPads, smart boards in every room, but none of that matters if we don't have these amazing teachers that have helped grow students like me. In 8th grade, I had a history teacher, Mr. McIntosh. He was an absolutely amazing teacher, and he inspired me and is part of the reason I currently major in international relations. Sadly, he left the district due to the lack of support and the fact that he wasn't able to get and grow in the district from the top. In his class, I learned about a time period in America called the Gilded Age, where the outside looks amazing. We have amazing teachers that show that, but the middle is currently rotting out because they do not feel supported. Look around. We are all here supporting the teachers. Every single street I have driven on since coming home from college this semester has had at least one sign. We all are here knowing and supporting the teachers. I urge you to do the same.
Thank you. With what money? With what fund? Hi, Ms. Hunt. Hold a second. On deck is Regan or Reaganfeld. Okay. Okay. Hi. No, you're fine. You're fine. Are you Ms. Hunt?
Yes, I am.
Yes. I just wanted to let the next person know who's on. Okay. So hi. Good evening. How are you?
Hi. Hello, my name is Karen Hunt. My daughter is graduating with a diploma on June 1st from Athens High School, and she has an IEP. These last few months, I have been extensively looking for transition resources for her. Sheila Gann told me that the only transition program for graduating senior who has an IEP and is getting a diploma is Project Search, which is 8 spots, which are shared with other school districts. That is not enough. It would be helpful and inexpensive if the district would automatically provide a list of transition resources to seniors who are graduating with a diploma and who have IEPs. This is an idea I have shared with Christine Florin and Samantha Smotherman, and they were receptive to this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hunt. Okay, hi, just hold 1 second. On deck is Mrs. Emily Byrne, and is it Regan or Reagan?
Reagan.
Reagan, welcome. Go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me speak tonight. I'm Reagan Feld, a junior at Troy High School. I'm here tonight to offer the board a student perspective of why my teachers and all Troy teachers deserve the fair and equitable contract they are asking for. In the words of the Troy School District, they are setting the standard for excellence in education. This standard of excellence should include an excellent contract for teachers. Troy teachers themselves are upholding that standard every single day, and they should not be doing it without support. Troy teachers never stop supporting their students, so they deserve the same support reciprocated by their administration. Despite the ongoing frustrations of working without a contract, Troy teachers continue to give their best effort at all times. They show up to work with dedication and resilience to give their students nothing less than an outstanding learning environment. Every day, I witness Troy teachers stopping at no short lengths to help their students reach their full potential. Troy teachers lead their students to success, and Troy teachers make their students better people. They guide students in times of struggle and celebrate them in times of achievement. The Troy School District also claims they are shaping today's students into tomorrow's leaders. Who is actively doing that shaping? Your Troy teachers and mine. My peers and I would not be where we are today without our teachers. As I've grown up in this school district, I have always been grateful for the amazing role models the Troy teachers are. Troy teachers don't just teach. They encourage, support, motivate, and inspire. Therefore, they should be compensated for their boundless commitment to students. Troy teachers never fail their students, so you all should not fail these teachers either by having them work without a contract. Every Troy teacher continues to uphold the standard of excellence the Troy School District talks of. So if our district really is setting the standard for excellence in education, then our teachers deserve an excellent contract to match that standard.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Byrne, hold on. Just hold on for 1 second. On deck is Ms. Heather Kelly. Okay.
Good evening.
Good
My
evening.
name is
Hi.
Emily Byrne, and I'm a parent of a Troy student and an educator. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, as of 2021, only 38% of the U.S. population had a bachelor's degree or higher. A four-year degree is a rare occurrence that not everyone in the country has, and it happens to be a requirement to be a teacher. This is a highly educated and motivated group of people working in one of the most important fields in this country. So why do teachers have to fight for a competitive salary? No one would question a doctor or a lawyer being paid more. Why are we lowballing our teachers? According to my research, of all the district's bargaining units in Oakland County, 8 districts have higher starting salaries than Troy. Those districts are recognizing the value of education and will attract the best talent. This is a district that prides itself and markets itself as a national leader in education. Yet this board is choosing not to pay its educators in the top 5 of its own county. My understanding is that it is still a practice to start all new hires in the district at step 1. How on earth are we supposed to attract talent when we don't honor their experience? This would never be the case in any other career field. It is criminal. Additionally, preschool teachers in this district make a mere $29,722 starting out. That tells me, 1, we don't value an early education for children when preschool is the foundation to a child's education. And 2, we think preschool teachers are less than normal teachers. Just because we have built a beautiful preschool building does not mean we care about a preschool education. People move here for the schools. I know I did. But what does for the schools mean? For the physical buildings, for the school board, for the new classroom furniture and athletic fields? No, we are talking about the heart and soul of this district, the teachers. We need to value them. Investing in teachers is investing in student success. And while I have 2 seconds, we should all watch the documentary American Teacher. It's from 2011. It'll give you a nice insight as what it's like to be a teacher in this country. Thank you.
Ms. Kelly, can you hold just a second? And then up on deck is Mrs. Pat Grandy. So,
I'm
Ms.
Heather
Kelly, hi.
Thank you for allowing me to speak again. I had a quick retort to last month's meeting that I felt was important to share. Troy teachers cannot be shamed into silence or instructed to stifle our passion or dissatisfaction in the name of respect. Our discourse is intended to be uncomfortable. Our outcries fueled by the disparity we are experiencing. The TEA is standing up for what is right and just. For that, we will not apologize. This is not about attacking any one person or persons. Our protest is about honoring our profession and opposing injustice. I would be remiss to sit in silence as I watch educators have to beg and picket for fair wages. This situation is appalling, especially when statistics roll in, like Troy High being one of the top public high schools in Michigan. The teachers in this district don't just deserve top wages, they earn them with results. There is no excuse for not paying top teachers top wages. We do not want to defeat you. We want you to see and honor all of us with the compensation that matches our world-class instruction. I'm haunted by this famous quote as I watch our work here begin to unravel. A kingdom founded on injustice never lasts. Help us save what Rich envisioned and we all built together by finalizing a contract that ensures One Troy's future success before there is nothing left to sustain.
Hi, Pat. Can you just hold a second? On deck is Mrs. Angela Clements. And now, good evening. Hi.
Good evening, Board. My name is Pat Grandy. I am here representing the teachers from the TSD preschool. As you know, we service over 450 students every day, and we do it with amazing teachers who are there to support not only our students, but our families. Now, if I did my math right, we have 16 days left of school. And in those 16 days, we are going to finish strong. The teachers, I know we're going to finish strong for our students and for our families. And I would like us to finish even stronger with a contract that is fair for all the teachers in the Troy School District. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grandy. The person on deck is Mrs. Melissa Batts. So Mrs. Clements, go ahead. Welcome.
Good evening. I'm Angela Clements and a third grade teacher at Waddles. This is my 19th year in this district. I'm speaking to ask you to resolve our contract in a way that is equitable and will recruit and retain the best teachers because that is what our kids deserve. Your job as a school board, as school board members, is to ensure that this district runs smoothly and provides the best possible education for the children of Troy. This requires tough decisions. Tough financial decisions require prioritizing. Research has shown time and time again that the #1 factor in providing a quality education is the quality of the teacher in the front of the classroom. In order to recruit and retain the most talented teachers, Troy must have a competitive pay scale. Districts around us have had the same financial constraints as our district and have found ways to make compensation for their teachers more in line with what hardworking teachers deserve. This must be a top priority. From teachers who are in their first year to teachers who have been here for 30+ years, we work hard. We work so hard that we come in early to school, stay late after school, are grading papers and lesson planning on weekends, attend students' dance recitals and sports games, and use our own money to provide our students with fun rewards, jackets, etc. We've made personal sacrifices to give everything we could to our students and schools. On top of all of these things, the school district continually calls on us to learn new curriculum and become experts in all areas, and we answer this call. The district calls on us to educate our students not only in academics, but also in social skills, life skills, emotional self-regulation, and to become kind and productive citizens of the world, and we answer. The district calls on us to support and encourage school bonds, and we answer. The district calls on us to give our all each day to support our students, and we answer. We now call on you, our school district and school board, to give us a fair, equitable, and competitive contract. Will you answer?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hi, just hold a second. On deck is Mr. Steve Dunneback. Mrs. Batts, hi.
Hi. Good evening and thank you. I am an elementary ELD specialist at Morse. I've been there for 10 years now. I also bring my children to the Troy School District by choice because I know it's an amazing school district. I spend a lot of time in my job in and out of classrooms now. I see firsthand the outstanding teaching and learning being done within TSD. For example, I walk in and I see outstanding educators bringing literacy to life through vibrant storytelling. I see outstanding educators consoling 6-year-olds as they cry about their scraped knee, their banged elbow, their lost puppy, their broken friendship, their untied shoe. The list could go on. I see outstanding educators igniting the passion of physics through Rube Goldberg projects. I see outstanding educators collaborating to find just the right piece of the puzzle that will help take a student to their next level of learning. I see outstanding educators work with grit, passion, integrity, and fortitude every single day. Unfortunately, I also see the toll that working for 110 days without a successor agreement can take on these outstanding educators. We are overwhelmed. We are exhausted. We love this profession, but that's just it. It's not a hobby. We don't just do this for fun. It is our profession, and it is how we earn a living. It is how we keep going. It is how we thrive and not just inch ourselves forward surviving. We deserved a fair and equitable contract 110 days ago. I hope you'll consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. On deck is Mr. Andrew Shipp. Mr. Dunneback, hi.
Hello. Good evening, members of the School District Board, Dr. Macheski. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. The matter I want to address may concern our district employees' compensation and benefits. First, let me express our collective gratitude to the Troy community for passing the recent bond. The funds secured through this initiative will provide essential building and technology upgrades across the district. Had this millage not been approved, we would be facing significant financial challenges, potentially forcing our difficult decisions regarding infrastructure improvements. Although bond money cannot be directly allocated for salaries, the approval of the millage enables the district to retain other funds that can be used to offer competitive compensation to our dedicated employees. The school district is in a strong financial position with a high fund balance amounting to $32,533,966 as noted in the 2023-24 budget appropriations resolution. This significant fund balance reflects a community that values strong competitive schools and high quality education. However, this raises a critical question. Does the school board lack confidence in the leadership at central office to appropriately utilize these funds? This substantial fund balance is a resource that should be put to use to ensure our district remains competitive, especially in a market where we are currently falling behind. Many members of the Troy Educational Support Personnel Association, where I reside as president, who have served in this district since 2011, are not provided with employer-paid full person or two-person or full family medical benefits. Those who opt to purchase these benefits often find themselves working most of the year with net paychecks that amount to zero or even negative. This situation reflects severe sacrifices made by our members, particularly 2/3 of our membership was absorbed by third-party contracts, saving the district an estimated $10 to $12 million.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. On deck is Mr. Rob Holder. Hi. Welcome.
Andrew Shipp, Troy Athens, social studies teacher, tennis coach. A couple months ago, we were here and appreciate everything that you guys are doing, the opportunity to speak. Appreciate everything that everyone's involved with in the negotiations as well. A couple months ago, too, Carl, we were talking to about the need for raises for teachers, and I appreciate you recognizing that. We also, though, need a timeliness with it, and I think that's something that needs to be emphasized because as we look at it, the hiring season is now. And so as you're experiencing, teachers are going elsewhere. The amount of teachers that we have available to us is also limited. So we appreciate the work you're doing and what you're doing towards it, but we need it to happen in a quicker pace. So that was one important point that I really feel needs to be emphasized. The other point, a couple coaches were talking to me about the coaches' salaries too. And this is another tough one. I know we've talked about teacher salaries. Coaches' salaries have been at a tough spot as well. Looking at it as a tennis coach, got state coach of the year, and I appreciate the recognition here a few months ago too. And a couple of coaches in Troy and Athens were saying, hey, this is something, and I said, you know, this is the time to talk about it. But looking at a couple other districts, Rochester is about 25% higher than we are. Bloomfield, Clarkston, Lake Orion, 35% higher than we are in coaches' salaries. So I know you're talking percentages, but that's an issue. And I'm hiring a JV coach now for the second year in a row. To be honest, I could use a little help. As we're working with administration, I know that's a big part of it too. So I know we're talking about salaries across the board. I just wanted to make sure that that was up there, and coaches asked me to talk about it. And I just want to know that it's happening quick because we need it like now.
Okay,
So,
thank you, Mr. Shipp. Thank you again. Mr. Rob Holder is up, and then Mrs. Jennifer Bell is behind. Good evening. Hi.
Hi there. Dr. Macheski, Board of Education. My name is Rob Holder, and I am currently finishing my 24th year at Athens High School. I am here to talk about the current state of contract negotiations between the school district and the teachers. It seems to me that we need to have more of a partnership. Right now, and Dr. Macheski, when you first came on board, I thought you worked very effectively to establish a great relationship with the teachers that we have here at Troy Schools. And I thought we put together a good relationship where we could work together well. Today, I don't think that relationship's where it has been or where it could be. Today, we have a lot of challenges coming up, a lot of challenges that we need to work together on. So what I'd ask is that we kind of try and get this contract settled so that we can work to start getting towards more important challenges. We've got a lot of stuff to work on together, folks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have Miss Jennifer Bell is up, and then behind her is Mrs. Laura Cornish. Okay, hi.
Hi. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Jennifer Bell, and I am a special education teacher at Smith Middle School. I sincerely hope that you share my disappointment and frustration that I am still working without a contract. As a teacher working without a fair contract, I feel disrespected and undervalued. As a 27-year resident of Troy, I wonder how a district can promote itself as world-class for all when its teachers are still working with an expired contract. As the proud parent of 3 Troy-Athens graduates, I wonder if future students will still have the same quality education that my children received if we do not settle a contract soon. By calling itself world-class, the Troy School District attracts attention in our community, throughout the state, and beyond. Is this really what you want others to see? A district that does not prioritize retaining and attracting excellent teachers? Tonight I ask you, what are you doing to ensure that we end this school year with a fair and equitable contract? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again. Mrs. Laura Cornish is up, and then last on deck is Mr. Jason Chickwitz.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
My name's Laura Cornish. I am a Troy parent. My children go to Costello, and I'm also a Rochester teacher. And as some of you know, we are in the midst of bargaining as well. So I just wanted to share a perspective of kind of an outside teacher who's in solidarity with all of these wonderful people. Our job is tough. We love it, but it is getting tougher. The behaviors, special needs, more students packed into small classrooms, after school hours, planning, communicating, innovating, doing our own learning to learn new curriculum. It's even more challenging when we can't pay our bills. It's even more challenging when we can't move out of our parents' homes as career people. It's even more challenging when we can't live unless we have multiple roommates. The NEA released an analysis of average teacher salaries, and I just wanted to share that the average teacher salary starting in Michigan, ranked number 41 in the nation, is only $40,000. Mm-hmm. The minimum living wage is $58,000. Mm-hmm. Where are we going to make up the other third? First-year teachers in Troy only make $43,000, and they don't break $50K until their 4th year. They don't meet that minimum living wage minimum until year 8, and an average of 44% of teachers quit within 5 years. So they'll never even make the minimum living wage. In the Troy Times recently, there was an article, and I quote, that your district is operating at 60% of the funding received in 2004 if adjusted for inflation. These folks also are living in the 60% rate when adjusted for inflation.
We know.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Jason Chikowitz. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Jason Chikowitz, and I'm the proud president of the Troy Education Association. I am joined tonight by your Troy teachers, retired teachers, Troy secretaries, Troy paraprofessionals, and Troy parents. I am also honored to be joined tonight by a statewide leader in education, the president of the Michigan Education Association, Chandra Matafari. Collectively, we have one message for this Board of Education. Enough is enough. Settle the Troy teacher contract. The Troy teacher contract expired on Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. Your talented Troy teachers have been working without a contract for 111 days. And even with both parties agreeing to move into mediation, there is no clear end in sight. The time has come for this nonsense to stop. It's time for this Board of Education to direct its pricey attorney and bargaining team to settle the teacher contract. Please do not ignore the needs of your dedicated and talented Troy teachers by letting them leave the forced summer break without a contract. The bottom line is the non-competitive Troy teacher contract is forcing our school district to hemorrhage teachers to both retirement and other surrounding districts. The current professional compensation level, lack of job place stability, and overall teacher shortage will make it nearly impossible to fill these vacancies before the start of the next school year. Our Troy students deserve a talented Troy teacher in each of our classrooms. And the only way to get there is to build a contract that recruits, retains, and respects your talented Troy teachers. Again, enough is enough. Settle the Troy teacher contract.
Thank you. Okay, we move on to item 10 under other consideration, and that is the individuals listed below have filed as candidates for the 2 6-year term seats open for the 2024 Oakland Schools Board of Education biannual election. Carol Fickelstein, Charlie Grandy Thompson, Mark Katz, W. Samino Scott. Oakland School Board members are elected by an electoral body composed of one person designated by the board of each constituent school district. The revised school code prescribes that each constituent school board district, or each school district board, must designate a representative to this electoral body by adopting a resolution that will, 1, designate a person to vote in the election on behalf of the local district board, 2, direct the designee as to which candidates the local district board supports to fill the open seats, 3, direct the designee to vote for those candidates, at least on the first ballot taken by the electoral body. The designated electors must cast their votes at the election scheduled to take place between 5:30 and 7:30 p.m. on Monday, June 3rd, 2024 at the Oakland Schools main campus located at 2111 Pontiac Lake Road in Waterford. The revised school code prohibits the acceptance of absentee ballots. May I have a resolution, please? Ms. Alish.
Whereas Public Act 419 of 2004 amended the election procedures for intermediate school districts that elect board members at a meeting of representatives from constituent district school boards, and whereas Public Act 419 of 2004 requires a constituent school board to designate its representative and identify the intermediate school board candidate the board supports by a resolution adopted not earlier than 21 days prior to the date of the election. And whereas Public Act 419 of 2004 prescribes the method for passage of a resolution, including the requirement to consider the resolution in not less than one public meeting before adopting the resolution. And whereas the board previously considered the resolution in an open meeting conducted in a manner prescribed under the Open Meetings Act on May 21, 2024. Now therefore be it resolved that the board designates Matt Haupt as its representative and Vital Anay as its alternate representative to serve on the 2024 electoral body responsible for electing members to the Oakland Schools Intermediate School District Board of Education. The board supports candidate Carol Finkelstein and candidate Mark Katz for the two positions on the Oakland Schools Intermediate School Board District of Education, each for a term of 6 years ending June 30th, 2030. The board directs its representative Matt Haupt to vote for candidate Carol Finkelstein and candidate Mark Katz, at least on the first ballot taken at the June 3rd, 2024 election.
Thank you. I have a resolution by Ms. Alish. Oh, I do need support.
I support.
Thank you. Thank you. Resolution by Ms. Alish, supported by Ms. Anay. Any questions or comments on this? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say yes. Yes. Opposed, say no. All right, thank you. And Matt, thank you for thank you for taking one for the team on that one. I appreciate that. Okay. And that takes us to, I think, other, right, to our student representatives. So first of all, before I give you a chance to even speak your word here, I want to thank all four of you for a year of fantastic contributions to this meeting. We really do appreciate you taking time out of your week to come and be part of us. And the best part is that our seniors, you can take your plaque with you. So you can just demonstrate how important you are to everybody. You can put it in your dorm room, just to make sure everybody understands how important you are. Okay, so why don't we begin with Tegan. Tegan Pruitt, you want to tell us what's going on as you wind down the year at TCCHS?
Absolutely. So I'm proud to announce a list of achievements that TCC has accrued over this last month. It has been crazy. So first of all, I want to thank Ms. Clippard for her support staff of the year within the district and the county. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have got accepted to Central, because I know you're probably going to ask me that soon.
Woohoo! All right.
And then I want to honor the staff for all going up to Traverse City for the Alt Ed conference. Our entire staff made it up there and performed a 2-hour-long conference for the entire state to see, for everyone in the Alt Ed scene to see what we are up to at TCC. And then I want to honor Mr. Flessa for winning Teacher of the Year in the city and in the state. I want to honor our first prom, student-led, about 55 students in attendance, but for the size of the school and the size of the venue, we did fill it up and it was amazing. Tomorrow we will have today actually we had a field trip to, it was the Michigan Construction Day, the Carpenter and Millwright Training Center.
Oh, okay.
I think we had 3 staff members take around 20-25 students there.
Cool.
And then tomorrow we will have a field trip, or Thursday actually we'll have a field trip, full building field trip to Tree Runners for a team building exercise.
Oh.
Tomorrow, the Women of Tomorrow will take all of the ladies to the Haven, which is a transitional home for mothers 18 and up to figure out what their next steps in life, are, if they're in a tough spot. Our Arts, Beats, and Treats is May 31st, along with senior recognition and seniors last day.
All right, fantastic. Thank you again. Woo. I'll just go down. Nareda, tell us about what's going on in IA East.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you are all having a tremendous Tuesday. This month has been filled with fun events and busy schoolwork at IA East. During Star Wars weekend, from May 3rd to May 4th, our forensics team took 30 students to the state competition in Battle Creek. After battling hard through 6 rounds, 9 students became state finalists in 6 different events. Needless to say, the Force was clearly with the young Jedi on May 4th. In celebration of Mental Health Month, we hosted various mental health activities last week. Students played outdoor games like volleyball and Cam Jam in one event to get some fresh air, relax, and unplug from those devices. Students wore green to support mental health in a green out, and students continued participating in challenges from the Mental Health America Where to Start calendar by making lists of things they are grateful for and trying to fully disconnect from screens on Saturday until 8 p.m. because watching the NBA playoffs does not count as screen time. Additionally, the Southeast and East Asian Student Association hosted a dumpling making workshop yesterday. However, I really think that a better name for the event is a dumpling making and eating workshop. I mean, this name is way more appealing and helps to explain the great turnout and enjoyability of the event. Yesterday also marked the beginning of the sophomore ropes course trips that are taking place this week. The field trips are the culminating experience of the 2-year IB Adventure Challenge course, which aims to equip students with the leadership skills needed to succeed both inside and outside the classroom. During the trip, sophomores belay one another up to 40 feet in the air to really put their collaboration to the test. Although this may seem daunting because of the height and the fact that teenagers are kind of holding your lifeline, the experience is very fun and helps build trust and strong friendships between students. Lastly, our seniors are officially done with their IB exams and can finally relax. The rest of us are just a tad bit jealous of them and the newfound boredom they have the audacity to complain about. But we are all working hard to get through the final stretch of the school year with 19 more wake-ups left. And yes, I did count.
You did.
And that is all I have with what is happening at IA East. Thank you.
Great work. All right, Miss William, take us to the end of Athens. Here you go.
Okay, good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Marlene William, a senior at Athens. And this weekend, I had the pleasure of attending the Open Air Festival, and it was truly a pleasure seeing all the hard work that my students, that my fellow peers put into being able to share their talents with each of us. There were also students, they were selling pottery and jewelry, and it was truly a night to be remembered. And as JLO, we know, is part of the Creative Guild, I'd like to thank all of them for putting on such a special event. And I also want to highlight one group. They performed a song, Know You're Beautiful, as it is Mental Health Week as well. And I thought they brought really unique twists, performing their own music and bringing their instruments as well. And the next day was also very exciting, where Athens hosted the Athens 50th. Music was blasting. They had a bounce house for the kids. There were water balloons, and even a dance competition, which I heard some people saw some things they will want to unsee. But moving on, with the spring weather and seniors coming to the remaining few days, orchestra and band had their last concerts, and Mr. Cable and Mr. Quinn from our music department, they always love awarding senior superlatives, and I love seeing what all my fellow peers get, and it's a really memorable time for them. Also, in the midst of AP testing, similar to what Tegan said, we did have our prom. And while food may not have been top tier, pictures were a highlight, and we definitely enjoyed ourselves. Athens Theater Company also had a banquet yesterday to close off the year, and they even performed a one-night show. So if you missed it, you'll have to be back for their fall show. But the seniors were able to celebrate some of our Athens seniors who received scholarships to pursue theater post-graduation. Also, I'd like to commemorate Mr. Burns, who in longstanding tradition took his students to the Student Production Awards, which is hosted at Michigan State, and they came back with 6 awards this year, and they had 12 nominations total, so that is just absolutely outstanding. And we also had our Key Club that every year they close their year with a leadership summit at Imagine Theater in Rochester. And the owner, Paul Glantz, is fortunate enough to come and speak to us about leadership and give a lasting takeaway for the Key Club members. And yesterday, we had almost 30 athletes sign to play for college, and many will be attending D1 programs. That's all I have for you today, but I would like to just say a huge thank you to the board for giving me this opportunity to work under their leadership. I'd also like to just give a huge congratulations to the class of 2024. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Jay LaTurner, you started our meeting off, so I think you should end it, right? So go ahead, tell us, take us through the end of Troy High year.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, even though you got introduced to me earlier, I'm Jayla. I'm a senior at Troy High, and I'm our student rep. Just like Marlene, to start, I just wanted to say that Open Air Fest this past Friday was a huge success. The weather was good, and the talent displayed was absolutely phenomenal. So I just want to thank our communications department, everyone in the Creative Guild, the performers, and everyone who helped for giving students a space to showcase their skills. It was awesome. On the sports sides of things, over at Troy, it's been a fabulous spring. Boys Lax has had their best regular season since 2013. They're also the OAA White League champs, going undefeated. Girls Lax team is ranked top 10 in the state. I'm sorry. And they're earning the #1 seed in regionals. Baseball won the OAA Blue and finished with the best regular season record in program history. And Clark Anderson, if you don't know him, he's fabulous. He is nearing the home run record as well, so I'm hoping that he can, get that before he graduates. Girls soccer won the OAA Red, their first league title since 2004, and they're ranked the #2 team in the state heading to playoffs. Girls tennis won their 5th straight regionals, and they're headed to states. So is Athens. You didn't say that, but congrats to them. They played at our school last week. We had 16 student athletes signed to continue their athletic careers in college. We also had a large group of the boys and girls track team qualify for the state finals. I'll stop with the sports. I don't want to make it seem like Troy High is just the best, even though it is. So next over at Troy, we have been celebrating our seniors. Last week, we hosted our final pep assembly. We had a spirit week, a new tradition we took from TikTok called Soka Senior, and we also had a senior barbecue hosted by Stugo and our athletic boosters. So thank you, boosters, for grilling the best hot dogs I've ever had, and supporting Stugo because they do everything for us. Looking forward, seniors have breakfast tomorrow, gimmies, the clap out. We're looking towards prom, graduation, of course, and our all-night party hosted at Urban Air for the first time. Thank you, seniors, and good luck. Before I end, I would like to thank everyone, especially the board, for having me this school year as Troy High student representative. It's been an honor. Congrats to this year's retirees, the teachers, and best of luck to the class of 24. Again, thank you for having me, and that's all I have from our side of Rochester Road.
Fantastic.
I have a question for them.
Yeah.
So anything you wish you had done while you were here in high school? Especially the 3 graduates, and while you're here at the board table.
Okay, I guess I can go first. I think that one thing that I would encourage all incoming freshmen to high school and just all students in general is just to take advantage of every opportunity. I think that freshman year, obviously, we were online, so it was a little bit challenging, but even so, my peers were still able to find ways to really be innovative, to find ways to take initiative and to put their ideas out into the world. And some advice I receive is to put an idea out into the world before it's ready, because if you keep waiting, then you may not ever really get to share with the world. If you keep waiting for it to be perfect, the best way to come up with a great idea is just to receive on-demand feedback. So my advice is just to take advantage of all the opportunities out there, and you never know what you'll find yourself in. Thank you.
Great.
Go down there.
I got it. Okay.
Go ahead. He's got this. Okay.
My advice would be don't waste a second once you get there. Obviously, you can waste some time, figure out what you want to do, but try not to. And if you do end up wasting a year, I would know. It's never too late to have a second chance. There's always time to make up for that lost time. And if you take that time to find out what you really want to do, it's not lost time. You can really use that as a tool to go farther into what you actually want to do.
Great wisdom. Okay, great. Anyone else? You got more? No. She has no advice. You did it all. So, yeah.
My advice earlier.
No, you did. Actually, you did. I know you're only a junior, but if there's anything you'd like to add, you can absolutely join.
I guess I'm a big fan of the movie We Bought a Zoo. And one quote from the movie that's always stuck with me is, "It only takes 30 seconds of courage to do something big." And I think that if every high schooler took that piece of advice, and they stepped into that growth zone for a second, they tried something new, they'd realize that once you get your foot in, it's not that bad as you thought, and you can continue moving through and achieving your goals. So yeah, it just takes 30 seconds of courage to do something big, and then you've done it.
Great. You know, I just, as a final thank you to all four of you, I've seen all four of you in action throughout the year, and your leadership capacity extends far beyond what you do for us here. And I want you to know that we see that, and we appreciate that. We are intensely proud of all of you because you represent us so well. And I just feel like I need to say that explicitly. So thank you again for, a number of years of service back to your learning communities. Thank you. Okay, so now we have the old people. So, Dr. Wilson, anything you want to add under other?
I have a handful of things. One, I know that right now with the contract negotiations, sometimes things get wonky between board members and teachers, but I do really appreciate the teachers in the Troy School District, and that was really evident to me on Friday night at Open Air, when there were teachers who, despite all of the various things that are going on, do in fact come out to support kids. And there were so many TCC teachers there. It was just really, and knowing that the TCC teachers had been at prom the night before, came to Open Air, and then there were more TCC teachers at the theater banquet last night. I'm really grateful for the way that you're building the culture that you have there. Tegan here narrated a lovely life in the day of TCC, so hopefully we can all get a chance to watch that video, because I think it's a real window into that building. But I am grateful for the way that the teachers go above and beyond. I know that phrase has been used a lot tonight, but thank you, Ms. Clippard, for the way you lead, and to all of our staff who really do love on our kids. And with that, also super thanks to Thomas Butcher and for all the work he does with the Creative Guild, the way that he really sees kids. This year, Open Air was so fun because there were people from every building there. Nareda was our wonderful MC, but there were acts from all the schools, and it's just a really beautiful district-wide event. And so thank you to Thomas Butcher for allowing students to really run with that and let them lead it, and he just supports them, and that work, I think, is part of what makes Troy world-class. I also really want to encourage people to go see Origin on the 29th. That film is really, really impactful, and the willingness of Chantel and her team to be able to put together a community conversation. I just think that that's something that needs to be seen in community and talked about, and so if people can make time to see that on the 29th. This past weekend in my day job, I went to a peacemaking conference that was put on by the Search for Common Ground, which is a global NGO that works with helping people do peacemaking work. But one of the phrases that the speaker kept using was multi-partialities. And so she was and I thought that's probably a good term for us, because she was like, we can't pretend that we have no bias or we have no partialities. And so when we work in community, we can learn to appreciate how we can incorporate multiple partialities so that we can have a richer experience. And so I think that the Origin can help do that, and I just like that idea as we think about what it means to really live into being a diverse community. So,
great, thank you.
That's it.
Dr. Philippine?
I had the opportunity yesterday to attend the Change the World celebration, You know, I think this year the TFEE added an enhancement to its grant program. So in addition to the grants that teachers can normally apply for, this year was the opportunity for student voice in the grants. Again, teacher facilitated, but really student led. And so the celebration was held last night, and there were 6 projects that were highlighted. So congratulations to Athens, to Boland, to Costello, to Hamilton, to Hill and Wass for the student projects that your schools led and participated in. I mean, it was very inspiring. I mean, because this, when the concept of change the world was put in place, again, it goes back to the comment that, you know, you give students opportunities and they can do amazing things. And so projects ranged from, you know, a sensory room that was developed at Athens to interaction at, you know, with our 3rd graders at the senior center to making books accessible both, you know, in one building and outside to the community, you know, looking at the reduction of single-use plastics, and even looking at how to manage light pollution. So very proud of what those students accomplished, and we will continue that program in years to come, and so we hope that there will be more and more of these projects that have student voice. And a shout out to trustee Jennifer Gottlieb, because this really was her idea, and she put a lot of sweat equity behind helping that to be successful. So very, very proud of those groups of students. The TFEE golf outing is going to take place on June 18th. Let's see, I have to put my glasses on, at Greystone Golf Club. Again, we welcome sponsors, we welcome golfers, we welcome any auction donations. That's a very important fundraiser for the TFEE. And finally, not to, you know, again, use an overused comment, but one of the other above and beyonds that Danielle Clippard does that didn't get acknowledged is she's very instrumental in working with the Women of Tomorrow program that we run at TCCHS, and is always willing to, you know, support students, support our initiatives, encourage students, you know, to apply for scholarships and so on. So we certainly appreciate her help there.
Great, thank you. Mr. Ott.
Hi, so first off, I just wanted to plug our Troy School District newsletter. There's so much going on, so thank you to Kendra for putting that together. But in the newsletter, I was glad to see a familiar face. Lindsay Long was honored with the Michigan Association of Bilingual Education as one of this year's unsung educators. Only a limited number of educators received this award, so I thought it was appropriate, given all the recognition this month, to talk about it. She's such a great member of the WASP community, obviously, and the PTO, and she was the chair of our Running with the Wolves that we just had, the big 1 mile run. So there's a lot going on in her life as well, and just to be recognized for this award is a great honor. So she's such an asset to our students and our community, so congrats to Lindsay.
Great. Ms. Hellich?
We had our Smith groundbreaking in the last couple of weeks, which was really exciting. A little bittersweet for me. I went to Smith Middle School, and so I'm excited for our students in the district to have a new, really 21st century building and learning space. I'm a little sad that, you know, sometime in the near future Smith is going to be demolished. But it was just wonderful to see, you know, the elementary students who are going to be in that new building in a few years. And then I also attended the Open Air Fest. It was wonderful. I brought my son, so I wanted to thank Jayla and Nareda for playing basketball with him. Both of them also have mad basketball skills along with everything else. But it was really wonderful. It was the first time I attended. And there were games for younger kids and just all sorts of activities. You know, music and basketball and games for kids. So I just want to encourage our community members to really make use of everything that the district puts out, from the sporting events, especially, you know, in the fall and in the spring, but also our theater programs and things like. There are there are things there for all ages. So I think it's, my son had a really nice time. I want to also say something along the lines of what Nicole said earlier. You know, those of us on the board, we're not only board members, some of us are also parents, and so we do, we appreciate the work of our teachers. And, you know, and just to let you guys know, you know, we also, you know, the community reaches out to us in various ways to express their support for you. We have several hats that we wear. And so we have responsibilities that we have to take into account. And so I would just encourage you, you know, to, even as, you know, we sit here stoically as you guys speak, we have to balance all sorts of obligations here to ensure the long-term success of our building. And so, you know, having us sit here, don't take that as a lack of appreciation for the work that you do. And then the last thing I want to say is, because we're rolling into summer, there is an August 6th election, and there's going to be lots of really important things on that ballot. But there is a millage renewal on there as well, and that is something that that affects the work of the school district.
Great, thank you. Mr. Hoff.
I wanted to pull something from the well-written spring edition of the Troy School District newsletter. One of our students should be getting some recognition, and I'm going to do it right now. Baker 8th grader wins the spelling bee by the name of Aryan Kedkar on his back-to-back wins at the Oakland Schools Scrip Regional Spelling Bee, which was his second state title by correctly spelling a difficult word, amoxophobia, which is a fear of driving or being a passenger in a vehicle. So if you can say it, you can spell it, but this young man at 8th grade winning back-to-back from awards from Baker is something to be acknowledged. He's going to be representing Troy and Oakland County and the state of Michigan at the National Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C. later this month. I hope he does well. Just to go back down memory lane, I was in a spelling bee in 1961 and got bumped out, so I know that, no, it's true. And the words now, even with AI and with the technology that's out there, this young man, if he's winning back-to-back, it says quite a lot, and it goes to the intensity of his schooling, his school, and of course his teachers, parents, and everybody who supports him. So congratulations to young Aryan.
Great,
Thank you.
Ms. Sunday?
I echo everything that my colleagues have said. I only want to add two things. One is my personal note, and thanks to Danielle. I know her personally. Our daughters went to school together, and she was my daughter's Girl Scout troop leader, and I know she has done just about everything for that troop from the beginning to the end, and she was our PTO president, and she was just about doing everything for Hill and Larson, and I remember her being everywhere and doing everything, so I know she does definitely go beyond, like everyone has said, above and beyond, and not just for the district, but as a parent as well, and I vouch for that. For about 10 more years I've known her. The other thing I do want to echo what Amina was saying. We do, I know, as we sit here and we are listening with our stone face, we definitely appreciate every one of you teachers. We know how important you are. I had two kids who have gone through the district, and we know you have made huge impact on them, and they are where they are because of all the things you have done and you guys do, and we appreciate it. But we also know, we also put on another hat of making sure that this district is fiscally responsible and that it is going to last for future generations. And you've heard in the news about what's happening with Ann Arbor and so on. So we want to make sure such things don't happen here. So we are being careful, that's all, and we will do the best to take care of you.
Thank you. Just two things that I wanted to add here. First is I want to shout out to Amina because she just finished 3 years as treasurer of TYA, and so I'm sad to see her leave TYA, but it's been wonderful having her work with us on the executive board. So I want people to know that you put the time in there. The other thing is I know a number of us have been involved in the 8th grade interviews. I was out of town last week, so I wasn't able to do Smith, but I'm back in the seat, I think, on Thursday at Baker. And that's another example. Since we're talking above and beyond, the coordinators for that, I'm so appreciative because you go in and it runs like clockwork. And the only reason it runs like clockwork is because we have teachers that are killing themselves to coordinate with all these outside people, making last-minute changes, dealing with kids who are sick. I watch the shuffle, but the beauty of it is you come in as an outsider and it is just absolutely streamlined, and it's a spectacular presentation of the district to the outside world. So shout out to any of our 8th grade teachers who coordinate that at our middle schools. The other thing that I want to say, I don't know how many have been doing that. I know you've been.
I haven't done this year, but I've done last year.
What's fascinating is I've done these every year since I've been on the board, and starting with Apt to Succeed way back when at Fulham Park. And what's remarkable to me is to watch just the overall improvement in the interviews that we see with our 8th graders. And I know that comes from the emphasis on deep learning about being able to articulate, being able to stand up in front of the class and be able to express your opinion. It's exciting to see the things in the strategic plan actually taking place before your eyes. That's one fun thing about being on the board for a number of years is to be able to see that progression. So again, that I'm appreciative because I know that only happens because our teachers are good at their craft and they continue to evolve. And you may not notice it as a teacher because you're in the heart of it, but to be able to insert yourself once a year, every year for 13 years, and every year see a consistent change and improvement in the students' ability to articulate and be able to present themselves. It's a beautiful thing. It's
And
absolutely
not only
beautiful.
articulate, but the reflection.
Yes.
I mean, student reflection is, for 8th graders, I have college students who can't do what these kids do.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure that we see that, and that's why it's my favorite thing in the year sometimes to go and it's like, oh, which 6 kids am I going to talk to in the next three hours as we go through this? So I want to point that out. So I do have one other business thing, which is we need to figure out if we're going to change our workshop for June to make sure that everybody's here. We need to have a resolution tonight if we're going to do that. So can we check calendars? What are our options?
The 11th.
The 11th? June 11th?
I can't do the 11th.
Okay, 11 doesn't work. Another option? Is that the only one? Or
No, well, Thursday the 6th.
Thursday the 6th, that's the other one. Is that?
I was okay with that date.
I could do the 6th.
Let me look.
But I don't think Rich can.
Yeah, I could do the 6th as well. Is there anyone who can't do the 6th?
I can do the 6th. Can central office do the 6th?
Can you guys do the 6th?
6th.
Yeah, I'll be there.
What else is on the agenda? It's just, especially it's just me. And then Chris, can you do the 6th? Workshop on the 6th for accountability check-in? That's it then. Chris, myself, Rick.
Okay.
You good on the 6th? Instead of the 4th?
Guess I won't see my kid graduate, but I'll be okay.
Okay, yeah.
So the 6th, if we can get all members, that's fine. If we can't, then, we'll keep on the 4th.
Yeah, keep it on the 4th.
But if we can get to everybody, so I would make a resolution that we move our June workshop from June 4th to June 6th at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have support by Matt. Is it?
It's going to be a special meeting at 5. Same setup, special meeting at 5.
Special meeting at
For
5
closed-
is, okay.
Closed session for superintendent's evaluation. and
Okay.
then-
So we'll do the superintendent evaluation at 5 PM.
Okay.
And then we'll do the workshop at 6.
Okay.
And we'll keep the agenda light.
Okay.
At this point, it's just accountability check-in and whatever business.
Okay. All those in.
Budget.
Budget. That. Okay. Okay.
It's important.
And then all those in favor say yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so did you get the resolution in the second? Okay. All right, so let me jump over to you for
Yeah,
a final word of the night here.
Yeah,
Go
just
ahead.
quickly, tomorrow, we're having our second coffee with the superintendent. It'll be in this room at 9:30. That has been advertised. Thanks, Kendra, for that. We have several youngsters from our elementary that'll be joining me as superintendent for a day on May 23rd, and then again on May 31st. So I'm really excited about that. We'll be touring the district, and I'll be giving them a little glimpse into what it's like, especially at the end of the year. We have, yes. On the 31st, we have our SSAB, our first annual SSAB Leadership Conference. Thank you to my SSAB members who helped put that together. And we're looking forward to celebrating with 8th graders. So this is all student-led. SSAB students are leading this conference for 8th graders across the district. Lastly, just want to also make mention of after the prior to the workshop, when this group will be together, is for graduation. So looking forward to celebrating graduation at the O Arena, 10 o'clock for Athens, 2:30 for Troy High School. So we're looking forward to launching those students into the world, and then our IA students the following day at Pine Knobs. We're looking forward to celebrating those individuals as well. And lastly, and to Carl's point earlier, I just want to make mention that I did have a chance with about 75 others, myself and Rick West, with about 75 other superintendents today. We were in Lansing advocating, to Carl's point, around the monies that we're asking be made available to schools where they belong in K-12 from Section 147C. You'll hear a lot more about that, but we're asking if there's an all-call, and if there is a call for you to talk to, and anyone in our community to talk to your legislator, no matter where you live, and or the governor. It's going to be very important that we get that message out, that these are monies that are designated for K-12 and need to stay in K-12 so that we can assure funding in our school district moving forward. It is not an understatement to suggest that this may be one of the most important opportunities we have to secure funding into the future for schools across Michigan that will provide us an opportunity to address the very same thing that was mentioned here tonight. Provide stable funding for schools that would provide us an opportunity to offer increases for all staff in the Troy School District that might keep pace with inflation. That is our goal. We're all working diligently to make that happen. We hear the passion in this room. We hear it loud and clear. We share your passion. I have said countless times, this school district has always, and this board has always believed in the importance of compensating our teachers in this school district and all staff in this school district at and amongst the tops in the state of Michigan, and we have. We have lived up to that promise, and we will continue to do so. We can only continue to do so with cooperation, with the continued cooperation and continued support through negotiations, which we will. We will continue that moving forward. Look forward to mediation tomorrow. I know my team has been instructed to stay as late as is necessary. I hope the same is encouraged as we move this forward.
Okay. I want to add something to that, which is the governor issued a press release today, and it's very clear that she is not rolling on this. She's going to fight the legislature on this move. So there's already an effort to flood the governor's office to try to get her to do the right thing, and it doesn't look like today when it came over my newsfeed, I looked and went, oh my gosh, she's doubling down. So she's telling people to write the legislature to support her plan, which would prevent us from getting the 7%. So this is not over. It's not over at all. And it's clear from our sources in the Senate that she is still, the governor is the primary barrier to this succeeding. So there may, to your point, there may be an all call. Boy, we better all answer the call, because we've got to put real pressure to make sure that that this money lands in the right place for us. Okay? So the only other thing I have to add is that so we already covered our board workshop will be 6 o'clock on June 6th, which is a Thursday instead of a Tuesday, and then our June board meeting will be at 7 p.m. on June 18th back here.
The 20th.
Oh,
It's the 20th.
oh, it's the 20th. Sorry, that's the Thursday. So we're just shifting everything to Thursdays in June, so, okay.
And that was done because the TFEE golf outing had to be on that Tuesday. They couldn't move it.
Okay,
so
all right. I'm not even sure if I'm available on the 20th, but, okay. We'll make it work.
Yep.
Okay, anything else?
What date? June 12th. TCCHS graduation. Before I get, we won't
June
forget
12th.
you. Don't worry, we'll be there in force.
Yeah.
June 12th.
We'll be there.
Troy High School, 7 o'clock in the auditorium. TCC graduation. 6 o'clock. Don't get there at 7. I did that 2 years ago. That wasn't
Right, 6 o'clock, right? Yeah, both of
I did
us.
that. I did
Both of
that
us
several
receive
years
phone
ago.
calls at home. Yeah,
Yes.
but I live 4 minutes from Troy High. You, on the other hand, yeah.
Driving fast.
Yeah. Did you have a question?
I had something I wanted to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to thank the board, all of you guys, for giving me the opportunity to speak here and give me the confidence needed to move out into the world after this and after this year ends. Also, the 3 representatives that are up here with me. You guys made me expect better of myself day in, day out, and every day I get up here, I want to do better, and live up to what you guys do up here every day and what you guys are doing at your schools every day. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, that's a good way to end the night then. Oh yeah, I already said that. All right, thank you. Class dismissed, I think.